Hello, everyone. Welcome to this show. Today, myself, Rachit Garg, and Deepak Agarwal from UK, we both are joining to share our experience of being an MVP and about this program. So, welcome, Deepak. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks, Ajit. Very well. It's all good. I've been waiting for such talk quite long, and thank you for arranging that. So, yeah, let's get started.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool. So, Deepak, maybe let's first start with a quick introduction of ourselves to our
Mhm.
viewers, and then we will talk more about the program. So, just a short introduction of myself. I have been into Dynamics 365 ERP space for almost 18 years. And in this year, I got recognized as an MVP. So, I'm very excited to be a part of this program. My specialization lies on the technology side, so everything to do with X++ programming language and anything technical on this platform is where my interest lies. Over to you, Deepak, to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Great. So, I've been working in the Dynamics area roughly around 14 or 15. So, I can't remember the exact number by that.
Yeah,
And I'm just following you, Rachit. So, more into technical. Although
yeah,
I started my career being a techno functional with an end user company, and
yeah.
slowly I found like technical is more interesting than a functional. Sorry, functional guys, but I find technical more interesting than functional. And
That's good.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's recently I completed 10 years in this program, and
Wow.
we'll talk more about it later in the same chat. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a privilege to be here.
Great, great to have you, Deepak, because you being part of MVP program for 10 years definitely carry a lot of experience, which we can share with our viewers and
Yeah.
it can help them become an MVP. So maybe let's first talk about what is MVP program and what is it all about? Can you just talk about it to us? Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'll share my honest feedback, Rachit, right?
yeah,
Some people, not some, even a lot of people who asked, okay, Deepak, tell me how I'll get this certification done, how I'll
yeah,
get MVP certification. So my first answer is, dude, it's not a certification. It's an
yeah,
award, and it's not an overnight success, right? It's not something you do a couple of things and you can nominate for MVP. So MVP is a group of very specialized people, okay, who have a good understanding of the product, right? Who willing to share their knowledge with the rest of the community, help them grow at the same time, help their customer, help others to grow, and they are absolutely fine to share their knowledge with everyone. So that's what MVP award for me. Yeah, so it's anyone can be an MVP if they have those qualities. That's what I think so.
right. And if we look at you, like you are a great example, you are MVP for last 10 years and you probably became MVP at a very, very early stage of your career, maybe when you were just 4 or 5 years experience and you became MVP then, right?
Well, it's not 10 years actually, right? So there's
Yeah,
lot of changes going on in terms of the cycles.
right. Yeah.
So it's technically 12 years in this program. I
Wow.
first I first nominated in 2013, and I
Wow.
remember how I started this one. Okay, I remember I saw a couple of articles, and one article the guy put there in the blog. He put Microsoft MVP, and that's how this
Yeah.
hunting started. Okay, how be an MVP, what it takes, and trust me. And one more interesting thing, Rachit, and that maybe of course you can consider that's what is my journey look like as an MVP.
Yeah.
uh, I strongly believe idea is very innocent, right? What I
Hmm.
mean by that, a great idea can strike any day of the time, whether you
Right.
are maybe watching movie, sleeping, eating, or maybe enjoying your time in your bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So I remember those days when I literally wake up in the night. If I stuck in some issue, I literally keep thinking about again and again in a positive manner, right?
Yeah.
And I wake up in mid of the nights. Okay, I found idea. Let's try to implement. That's how I
Best
think so.
ideas always strike at an unusual time.
Yeah. Great.
Cool.
So Yeah, how your life, by the way, Rachit? I know
Yeah.
you recently joined, and with you comes with a very great experience. I usually follow your articles, videos a lot. So how you're
Yeah.
enjoying
Thanks for that.
your?
Yeah, I think it's very similar, Deepak, because I think we both have our career at a common time. So we used to do a lot of search on internet, and we used to find blogs and articles which used to help us do our
Mhm.
task, especially with tips and tricks around installation and upgrades and code snippets. So, and when we used to read those blogs, we used to see, hey, okay, this person is an MVP, and what does it really mean? And at that time I was not having very clear idea until I worked actually for to increase in my career, and I came across MVPs. So I got a chance to work with Kurt Hettlewick, who is one of the
Yeah.
very highly seasoned expert in this space. And I interacted with him. He talked more about that program and he explained to me what it is. And then
Mhm.
I had few very motivating managers in India, like they were really pushing me that you should do it, and they were always encouraging me to do it. So yeah, I came across this program. I used to write blogs and participate in forums, but then I thought if I've been doing it, let's try to um, do the
This
contribution
community, yeah.
so that I can also get recognized. But
Mhm.
then, yeah, life took a turn. I moved to Australia and got relocated here. So yeah, there were a few years where I was like settling down and not doing much of
Mhm.
contributions. But then this idea was always in back of my mind that I have to
Mhm.
do it. And then yeah, I started working towards it. And this year I got recognized. So it feels great to be a part of this community. And I think there are over like 3,000 MVPs across the
Yeah.
globe, across all technologies. So once you become MVP, you suddenly, your professional network just explodes and you
Yeah.
get exposed to all these experts across all different technology areas and with whom you can learn a lot, not only from a technology perspective, but also from how to contribute to the community, how to be a community leader, and you get inspired by looking at other people's how they are running their own user groups or community platforms. So yeah, there's a lot to consume. Like
Yeah.
the 1 year of being an MVP has gone in a flash, but I'm really enjoying that this journey so far. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a total different. It's open a different universe for you, right? Where you can,
Yeah.
not only depending on certain resources, you have a lot of things direct connect with Microsoft employees to whom
Yeah.
they are very
Yeah.
very well, friendly in nature and very helpful. So feel,
Right.
we have that route available for us to have
Yeah.
a word with them, share our feelings, share feedback directly from the
Yeah.
real world. So yeah,
Right.
that's good. And in fact, I believe, Rachit, you by now you have realized, like, MVP, being an MVP also comes with certain responsibilities, right?
True. Yeah.
So it's not like anymore. Okay, people are looking at you when you're writing a blog or while you're speaking at event or maybe recording a video. People looking at you and they are expecting,
True.
okay, there is some useful, not only useful, there's some promising information
Yeah.
in their details. Yeah, that's
True,
good.
true. And that is what I like. I talk to a lot of people who want to start their journey of being an MVP. And the best advice I give them is that try to find your area of expertise and create content around that area. Don't try to imitate other people, don't try to copy what others are doing. Create your own brand in that space. Create your do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Some people try to write a blog, create a video, participate in forums, do a podcast, do a user group session, and it becomes too much to do. So not necessary that you have to do everything. Do one or two things, but do only if you are comfortable, and do create your own brand in that space. So I think that also aligns with one of the common question, like how do what is the entry criteria, like what's the criterion process of becoming an MVP? So maybe we should talk a bit about that, Deepak. That um, from my perspective, first thing is you need to do technical contributions to the community. Not really technical, like if you are a functional or if you have a
Mhm.
different like a business process or you are coming from a project management background, there are different business areas and technology areas under which Microsoft recognizes MVP, and all these information is available on the MVP website. We'll just show that site in a minute. But do your contributions. You can do contribution in multiple ways. You can write a blog, create a YouTube channel, you can participate on the community website hosted by Microsoft, you can do your podcast, you can run a user group. So these are various ways, but once you have your contributions over a period of time, you need to be nominated either by an existing MVP or a Microsoft employee, and they nominate you. Then you receive an email, then you have to fill more details, and then the evaluation takes around 90 days. So that's my experience of applying for an MVP. If you want to add on something there, Deepak. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of more things, Sarchit. So my earlier, the number of months of contribution and Microsoft looking at before you apply for MVP, it was 6 months. And quite recently, I think 3 4 years back, Microsoft increased that period to 12 months. So
Okay.
when you ask someone to nominate yourself, make sure you have enough evidence or data to prove, okay, you were quite active, you did a lot of contribution in different areas in last 12 months.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Right.
And one thing is also need to understand the people who wants to be an MVP, right? Make sure you create authentic content, right? That's really
Yeah.
important. Every contribution counts. There's no nothing like, okay, if I'll do this have more weightage, if I do this may be less weightage. That's
Yeah.
fine. We are not professor in the college. Everything shouldn't be perfect, right? But as long as you are genuine, you are producing authentic content,
Yeah.
you are solving a problem from real world. I think everything else is
Yeah.
just minor. And they all those things will help the users, and you will be slowly get their audience who is following you, and you will be a good candidate to be an MVP.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's a great advice, and it also ties back to what I tell to people: don't try to copy others. Be
Yeah.
yourself. Build your own brand. Be genuine. Be authentic, and share with passion. Because if you have passion, it definitely reflects in what you do.
Correct.
So maybe let's also talk about. I'll just quickly share my screen and
Mhm.
show one website, which is about the MVP website, which is publicly available, which basically talks about this program. So, what is Microsoft MVP program? And basically, uh, who are these people? There are a lot of FAQs, how you can be an MVP, and there is a overview about the MVP program. So you can click on this overview program, and it takes you what it becomes to be an MVP. And it also talks about the benefits, which is more about your relationship with local MVPs, Microsoft teams, product groups. You get a recognition letter, some Visual Studio and Office subscriptions. You also get an invitation to attend a annual global summit. We will just talk about that in a minute. And what MVPs do, this is where we can see what different type of activities you can do to be a part of this program. One very interesting thing is you can actually find all the existing MVPs. So if you click on find an MVP here, it shows you all the MVPs across the globe, across various award categories and technology areas. So this is basically a categorization of how MVPs are identified. So if we talk about our space, Deepak, like if I filter on business application, here you can see a sub technology area of business application, and then we can filter on, let's say, AI ERP. Here we can see all the ERP MVPs in this space.
Now you are
And
trying to find
another,
your name.
sorry.
I think you are trying to find your name there.
Yeah, no, I'll just search it. You can search it. So
Yeah.
you can search a person name, and then thing is that you can actually see what they have been doing. So whatever I add in my activities, I have listed here. So let's say, for example, I gave a session in Microsoft Reactor of you on using Git with X++. I can actually go and click, and it takes me to that activity, and that is a good thing for people to actually see what type of activities MVPs are doing. And then each MVP's connection social handles are also available. So people can actually reach out to them and connect with them. And I promise you, like every MVP is always on a bleeding edge, ready to help community. They are there to share the knowledge. So even if you are from ERP background, you go to someone in, let's say, cloud engineering or data space, they're always there to help and talk about what they're doing. So this website is actually a good place to start. It also has FAQs about who is an MVP and how to become an MVP. It tells you about the process as well. So this was something I wanted to just quickly show. Yeah,
And also this website will give them a good idea, okay, where and how they can start their contribution, because every MVP lists
yeah,
their contribution, right? So if they go there first, it's good to know about them. They put their
yeah,
bit of introduction. It's good start to connect with them, learn about them, and what type of contribution they do normally. So that's a good
right,
learning if you want to start your journey. And also one suggestion I would say, Rachit, while you're reaching out to an MVP to nominate yourself, okay, quite few scenarios where people are not even know what is an MVP and they want to nominate, and sometimes
yeah,
it's become an awkward situation. So
right,
I strongly recommend to everyone, of course, encouraging being for an MVP, it's good, definitely it's good. But if we just share a website link with you, go to that website, that is mvp.microsoft.com, get
yeah,
familiarize yourself. There are very high
true,
chances you are already contributing on those areas, you already being a good candidate for an MVP, and then ask someone to nominate. So it's rather than being awkward situation,
yeah,
it's going to be encouraging situation. Okay, okay, something like you,
true,
Rajit. Okay, people reach out,
yeah.
okay, well, Rajit, why not you are applying for an MVP?
Right. No, I think that's a very valid point. Like, if someone wants to be an MVP, first step is understand what that program is, what it takes, and if once and becoming an MVP is not the end of it, right? It's a start of that whole journey.
Exactly.
Once you become part of this global MVP community, then you realize that this really is a great achievement, and you want to then continue it and maintain it going forward and maintain these relations with other MVPs and Microsoft. So definitely there is a lot of benefit in becoming MVP, but understand what it is, what it will mean to you, whether it suits you or not, and then try to start working towards it. um, yeah, I think, Deepak, let's in the final section of this chat show, let's talk a bit about the global summit which happens annually. This year I visited Seattle. I missed you there. I wish you were there as well. But I just want to share a bit of my experience, and then I'll let you talk about your experience of attending Global MVP Summit. So, because it was my first time, I was really excited to meet all the other MVPs of AI ERP space and also other technology areas whom I follow. So that was the biggest highlight, that you get to meet all the MVPs in person and talk with them about how they manage their work-life balance, how they stay up to date, click some pictures with them. And then the second highlight was interaction with the Microsoft product teams. Like, they do a lot of sessions with MVPs, which are of course under NDA, but interacting with them, knowing the vision, what's happening in Microsoft, is really a lot of knowledge and experience which you get by being there for those 3 days. And the last highlight for me was the Microsoft campus. So there are like so many campuses in Redmond, and hopping between campuses with the shuttles was an experience in itself. And then Microsoft also organized some tours for us, so we got to see some cloud collaboration center, innovation lab. So all those things were really uh, a very different experience which you don't get anywhere else. So those were the highlights from my perspective. But if you can share your experience of attending global summits and key takeaways from that, I think that would really help. Yeah,
Yeah, so I joined this so far only to session one, I think in 2018, and one was in 2023. So both
yeah,
were amazing and quite overwhelming, Rachit. It's like, of course, the time difference that's a bit of adjustable because that's the entire summit, I think 3 or 4 days. But I was lucky to spend a bit more time after and before that summit, and it was great networking with all the product team. And trust me, all those sessions around FNO, or now we are calling business applications, all those represent speaker were quite helpful. They were quite open to take those feedback. and I can
Yeah.
sense them whatever feedback we are giving them from real world. It's listened and they are improving according. So that's a great opportunity to interact with the product team, no doubt. Second
Mhm.
was, of course, networking. So that's another biggest advantage or biggest highlight of the summit. I was, until this 23 summit, I wasn't not aware like there are more than 40 MVPs uh, from Dynamics 365 finance and operation community. So it was good, and as you said, Microsoft Office, right? So I call it the motherland of technology. So no doubt, it's been amazing experience being there. And yeah, for sure, next time I'm going to see you there. I'm not going to let you enjoy it alone.
I hope my MVP status gets renewed this year. I've just submitted it, so looking forward to the evaluations.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Cool, man.
let's cross
Yeah,
our finger. Yeah.
yeah. Cool. I think that was a great talk, Deepak. Any final closing remarks? Like from my perspective, I just want to say that MVP is not just about being recognition, but it's an incredible journey. It's an experience of learning, connecting, developing yourself as well. So yeah, if you're passionate about it, definitely read more about it, go for it, and we MVPs are there to support you in this journey.
I
Over
think
to
you
you,
said it
Deepak,
all.
for your closing remarks. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, okay. So cool. I think thanks everyone for watching this show, and we will continue to bring back more videos to help you grow in this space. And stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Deepak. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.